Hey Pride, what's up? Coach Chris here. Last week, I made a video about what is launch position, and I said I'd make a follow-up video to show you some examples of professional hitters in the launch position as well. So that's what we're going to do here in this video. Um, the purpose of the video is really to show you some examples of launch position and to demonstrate what it looks like, and to show you how all great hitters get into that same basic launch position just before they're about to take their swing. All right, so let's start out just by going to Google real quick, and let's just Google launch position, see what we see. Click images. Here we go. All right, here we go. This is a real common phrase. The term launch position isn't something that I made up. Nope, it's a very common term to describe the position that we're talking about. So let's take a look right here. This is a picture that I put on a lot of our videos, actually, right on the title screen. This is Mike Trout, all-star center fielder for the Anaheim Angels, for Los Angeles Angels. You can see here he is in the launch position, right? And how do we describe launch position, right? We talk about having a 50-50 weight distribution after you've taken your stride, a front foot at a 45-degree angle. Here's the bat at roughly a 45-degree angle pointing back towards the catcher, and the barrel angled behind the head at roughly 45 degrees. Also, we see his shoulders with that slight downhill, and his face directly on the ball. All right, so that's one example. And Mike Trout is one of the best hitters in the whole world. So we can definitely learn something from him. But he's not the only one doing it. All right, that's one of the big things I want to show you about this video. Um, well, let's go back. There we go. All right, you can see here on this image, it's a little small, but you can see we have a whole bunch of different hitters. Here's at least 15, 20 different professional hitters, and they're all in the launch position. And if you were to look closely at this image, you'd see that, well, basically everybody's in the same position. All right, Chipper Jones, front foot, 45-degree angle, bat angled back towards the catcher, shoulder slightly downhill, face on the ball. All right, Rafael Palmeiro, same position, right, 50-50. Pablo Sandoval, he's a much wider base here with his feet, but still you can see he's 50-50. He doesn't have his weight too far over his back foot, and he's not leaning out too much on his front foot. Here's Joe Mauer as well, same position. Now these are all lefties, but it doesn't matter whether you're right-handed or left-handed. The position is the same. Yeah, and you can see here's a table of right-handed hitters at launch position and a table of left-handed hitters all at launch position. Now, if you look at all of these individually, I think you definitely agree with me. They all are getting to this same position. Wide, athletic base, 50-50 stance, bats angled back towards the pitcher. Now, if we take a look at some of our favorite hitters, like, say, Miguel Cabrera, you see Miggy here, kind of textbook. If you really want to see a textbook mechanics, you want to look at the big guy right here in Detroit, Miguel Cabrera. He's got one of the sweetest swings, one of the sweetest stances, movements to the ball. He does so many things right. And of course, he's one of the greatest right-handed hitters of all time. So if you really want to see what great mechanics look like, sit down at YouTube and punch in Miguel Cabrera home run swing, something like that. All right. So actually, we can do that. I've actually already done that. I wanted to show some slow motion videos of some great hitters getting into the launch position for you. All right. So here's Miggy, and this is a super slow motion video. This video starts in his starting stance. All right. So one of the things that we can also learn from this video or get a feeling of is how does a hitter get to the launch position? All right. So we can see here he's really balanced in his starting stance. Right. He's not overloaded over his back leg. He's not leaning forward. He's got that 50-50 right here. This is not the launch position. This is the starting stance, right, as he's waiting for the pitcher to get into his motion. All right, so let's click play here and see what happens. All right, sits, strides, and he gets to launch. All right, let me back that up a little bit. All right, here we go. This is in kind of super slow motion, 1 frame at a time. All right, he's starting to gather his weight backwards. He's shifting his weight against his back leg as he's lifting up his front knee. He's starting to angle that bat back towards the catcher as he's striding forward. Now he's reaching with that front leg while he's resisting with his upper body, while he's continuing to angle the bat. Here we go, right at front foot strike. You can see here the angles that we talk about. All right. Just a moment. There we go. I can draw on this guy. All right. Here he is, right at launch. Check out that front foot. The front toe, front ball of the foot is striking first at about a 45-degree angle. All right. He's at a 50-50 weight distribution with his weight against his back foot, not over it. All right. Here's his bat angle. Where's that bat pointing? Right back toward the catcher. All right. His shoulders. All right. I drew that angle a little steep, but you can see his front shoulder is lower than his back shoulder, and his hands are stacked over the top of his back foot. So when he makes his forward motion with his stride, right, when he strides forward, his hips, his leg, and his front foot are all moving forward this way, while his upper body is resisting this way. You see that? And when he arrives at launch position, he's in a strong, athletic, balanced, and loaded up position. He's ready to fire. Now let's go back to the video for a second. See where this goes. All right, there's the front foot strike. And you can see he's just about to fire on the pitch. Let's watch his hands. Now you see how his hands, his back hip, and his knee are all moving together? See that? Knob, hip, and back knee. That's the first motion. So from launch, when we fire to swing at the pitch, we're driving our backside. Our backside is here. Our hands, our back hip, and our back knee. He's already at his palm up, palm down position here. You see that? I know it's a little blurry, but you can tell he's starting to work his hands to the palm up, palm down. Here we go. Ball's coming into the zone. You hear Miggy in the background. The dog Miggy, our dog Miggy, is named after Miguel Cabrera, so she's barking into this video too. There we go. The big fella making contact. This ball probably goes a mile. Boom. Look at that. The other thing I want to point out is he's working into a strong front leg. You see how Miggy's front leg is straight by this point? When you land at launch, you land with a flexed knee, slightly bent. But as you drive your backside into the ball and into the palm up, palm down, that front leg goes to a strong, straight position. And then here's that extension 2 that we're always working on. Extension 2, you see the V shape in his arms. His shoulder is lower. His inside shoulder is slightly lower than his back shoulder. And that bat is pointing right back at the pitcher. This is beautiful mechanics. Everything is working straight back towards the pitcher. Belt buckle at the pitcher. Shoelaces back here at the pitcher. The bat pointed right back at the pitcher. Right? And then he just finishes his follow through. It's a beautiful swing. Miggy's swing is a work of art. Here we go. Boom. Go. Let's watch that baby again. Load, stride, launch, boom. What I love about Miggy's swing is he's got no wasted motion. Some batters do a lot of crazy stuff with their hands. They start out in really unusual stances and everything. But regardless, everybody gets to this position right there, launch. And we need to be getting to that position ourselves. All right. This isn't just something that only elite, high level major league hitters can do. You can do this too. All right. So, however you start your stance and however you gather and load your weight, when you stride to get to launch, you have to make sure you get to this position too, just like Miggy. All right. And just like all these guys. Most of the guys in these photographs are Major League Hall of Famers. All right. And they all got to this position, and you can too. Another great one, Barry Bonds. Now, Barry Bonds played before, well, most of you were born, but he's one of the best hitters of all time. Now, you'll see with Bonds, this is his starting stance. He also starts pretty upright. He's also got a 50-50 stance. So for those of you on the team who start out with all that weight over the top of your back foot, we really want to work against that because that's already an off-balance position. It's hard to get into your load and gather. You want to start with a nice 50-50. All right. Now Bonds does some pretty crazy stuff with his arms during his load, but once he gets to launch, he's in the same position that everybody else is in. So let's just watch this a few times. He's got a big bat waggle. I definitely don't want you guys to be doing a big bat waggle, all right? It was just his style. It's how he stayed loose. All right. He's starting his move. He shifts his weight against his back foot, picks up that front knee. He does a big arm dip. Then as he strides out, he's getting to launch right at front foot strike, right there. All right. Front foot at a 45, bat angled at a 45. Hands are stacked over the back foot, and he's basically at a 50-50 weight balance with his face right on the ball, with his shoulders slightly downhill. Let's see what happens. Now, actually, I think on this swing it's a foul ball, but he still takes a huge swing. Here we go. Working against that strong front leg. Boom. Foul ball, but this guy is the most prolific home run hitter in the history of baseball, and he didn't miss a whole lot in his career. Just so happened on this swing he did. Let's watch that again. "50-50 stance, staying loose in the upper body, sitting into the back hip, gathering his weight against the back leg, picking up the front knee, striding towards the pitch, landing with the 45, launch position, powering into a strong front leg, palm up, palm down, boom." That's launch position. All right, all great examples. All right, all great hitters get to it. Everyone gets to the same position. Many of them start out with different stances, or they load, or they have a different bat waggle. Some of you have your own unique styles as well when you're in your stance. But all the great ones, they start out 50-50, they load, gather, then they stride out to this position, and then they explode on the ball. All right, so what can you do at home to help reinforce this? Well, you can work on the drills that are shown in the other videos, but you can also have someone in your family take a video of you, slow motion, on an iPhone or on the Android device. All right, then you go back and you stop the video of yourself once you get to launch position. Do you look like these guys when you get to launch position? If not, take a look in the mirror and start making those body adjustments so that you can feel what launch position looks like. I can sit here and talk all day about what it is and what it looks like, but until you actually sit down and look in the mirror and say, hey, am I actually getting to this position? when I get to launch, yes or no. So the drill for you to work on is take a look at those launch position drills. In particular, the video where I describe what is launch position. Uh, Go stand in front of a full-length mirror with your bat and do your load gather and stride out to launch. Then compare what you look like compared to these big-time hitters. All right, that's it. That's all we got. A little bit of a long video. Thanks for sticking with me. If you have any questions or comments about launch position, let me know. Good around 3. Go Pride.